Yet more setbacks for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Parliament voted to pass legislation blocking a no-deal Brexit, so he called for an early election.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, in my view and the view of this government, there must now be an election on Tuesday, the 15th of October, and I invite the right honourable gentleman to respond, to decide which of us goes as Prime Minister to that crucial council on Thursday, the 17th of October.
The leader of the main opposition Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, appealed to lawmakers not to back an early general election before October the 31st, the current deadline for Britain to leave the EU.
I call the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Jeremy Corbyn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The offer of the election today is a bit like the offer of an apple to Snow White and the Wicked Queen, because what he's offering is not an apple or even an election, but the poison of a no deal.
Corbyn said, however, that he would back an election once the government took a no-deal Brexit off the table. The moment of truth.
Order!
Then Parliament dealt another blow to the Prime Minister. Johnson needed to win the backing of at least 434 lawmakers, but only 298 voted in favour. This political gamble on the part of the British Prime Minister that he can win a general election and see Britain leave the EU at the end of October is still very much up in the air.
So where do things stand now? Let's go to DW's Birgit Maas in London. Good morning, Birgit. So a triple blow for Boris Johnson in his plans to take the UK out of the EU. What does this mean? Have MPs now blocked the chance of a no-deal Brexit on October 31st?
MPs have really dealt a big blow to Prime Minister Johnson, an absolute humiliation, you have to say. He's been very ruthless in pushing his agenda through. He said, do or die, we are going to leave at the end of October. He has dismissed his own party colleagues who were threatening to rebel against him. He said they are expelled from the Conservative Party, they can never stand again, and yet they have voted against him because emotions are really running high when it comes to Brexit, and it's not only the public where many people are incensed about it, but also MPs. Many MPs don't want to leave without a deal, and they don't trust the Prime Minister. They don't trust him with anything he says, and they want to just make sure that this doesn't happen. And as we know now, it looks like they have the upper hand. It looks like they're going to pass this law. It needs to go through the House of Lords as well, but it looks like it's on its way, that the MPs at this time are going to win, and Boris Johnson is there with the egg in his face.
Could Boris Johnson still get what he wants, Birgit, which is an election before this Brexit deadline?
That really depends on the politics now. He didn't get it his way. He didn't get it sort of being the strong man and threatening people, threatening his own MPs. That didn't work. Now he has to go to the opposition and he has to basically come to some agreement. The opposition, of course, also generally always wants an election because they want to win. The question is just about the timing. The question is whether the opposition will agree to have the election before the 31st of October, because many people here, many MPs are saying that their first priority is to prevent this no-deal Brexit, and if there was an election before the end of October, there would be the threat that still it could come to this no-deal exit. So the question is, when will the election be? And we'll most likely find out within the next days, maybe the next week, I would presume.
Birgit, we keep talking about preventing a no-deal Brexit on October 31st. But we're talking about an extension, and nothing has really changed in terms of the deal with the European Union. So are MPs just trying to force the Prime Minister to kick the can down the road?
Well, this is, of course, what Boris Johnson himself and what all these people that really want to leave at the 31st of October, what they are saying. They're saying there is no agreement. However, MPs, there are many of them who feel that this needs to now go back to the people. It needs to be a second referendum on the argument that people now know more what leaving the European Union actually means and what it would entail. There isn't yet a majority for this, but MPs now are yet more under pressure than they have ever been to come to a conclusion and to actually say what they really want and to find a common ground and find a solution finally to this Brexit crisis.
DW's Birgit Maas on the ground for us in London. Thank you, Birgit.